Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We have got live tournament action coming at you, and I'm absolutely pleased to be presenting tonight's AGL-Invitational for the month of February. We're going to be holding this tournament every single month for the remainder of this year, at least, ladies and gentlemen. And we have got a nice matchup coming at you right now. Well, actually, one of my personal team players. Here we go. It is going to be Srirachi. He did change his name. He used to be Maui Mallard. I'll tell you, Maui Mallard was a heck of a lot easier to say, but he is now Srirachi. That is fine. Whatever he wants. But he's going to be taking on KiLLer, and KiLLer is a ridiculously good player. KiLLer spawning as our yellow Zerg, and look at this, man. He's got some nice little modifications here. He's got his 2001. What does that say? I'm not entirely sure what it says, actually. But regardless, it's pretty cool, man. He's got these bright yellow lights around his stuff there. That's going to be actually quite distracting, I think, for his player. His opponent, when he does come to scout. Now, KiLLer is spawning as our yellow up here at the 12 o'clock, and down here at the 6 o'clock is Srirachi. He is going to be our teal Terran. Cross positions here on Metalopolis. Now, the nice thing is it is a best of 3, so we're going to be watching some ZVT action for just a few moments here. I'm pretty pumped for tonight. I do want to mention just a couple things as we're getting started. This is going to play out almost entirely tonight until we get down to just our top 4 players, and then those players will play on Saturday night. However, in between those matches, we will be casting the rest of the games through the entire bracket just about from replay on both of our streams this as we move forward through the week. So Thursday and Friday night, we'll be casting from replay. So a lot of tournament action will be coming at you from this particular bracket over the long haul, and we've got some great players. KiLLer, one of them. We have got Startail Rainbow. We've got Ewan. Oh, that's Startail Rainbow. Never mind. We've got Sasquatch, who's just barely checking in. And, yeah, good stuff there. But he did check in. Now, we do have what appears to be a nice fast expand from KiLLer. Does have that gone down in pretty decent time. Back over here at Srirachi's base, it is a wall off. He's about to finish his barracks, and there it goes. And queuing up a Marine right away. We'll see what he's going to do here. Doesn't quite look like T-Rex pressure at this point. It looks like he is going to go into just standard opener for the time being. He's got that one gas gone down relatively early. Actually done quite a bit of mining there, so I'm going to be moving forward. We'll see if he's going to grab an add-on here for this barracks after these first 2 Marines pop out or not. But right now he's headed out across the field for some scouting intel with a wounded SCV. Always try and take a... He probably is not going to be going for a bunker here. If he was, my guess is that he probably would have taken an SCV with full HP. But he does get the scout out. He does see the hatchery gone down. He did scout cross positions first, interestingly enough. Lucky scout for him. And he knows that the hatchery has gone down. He has not checked the timing of the spawning pool quite yet, or the gases. So he is going to go over there in just a moment and check that out. There he goes. Got to check that out. Always an important thing to note if your Zerg opponent is going for their early gas or not. If there's no gas, got to know what builds those that he has available to him in that particular type of scenario. But so far so good here for KiLLer. He is up to 17 drones. He has stalled drone production for the time being, it appears. What do you have in production? No, he's got more drones and some lings in production at this point, as well as both of his queens. So he's going to get that inject cycle up and running here in just a few. Back over here at Srirachi's base, we've got that factory gone down, as well as a command center just barely starting. Great time there, though, so he's going to take a nice, around a 7-minute expand, and he is going to go for a Hellion opener. This factory is ready and waiting to get on that reactor. There we go. Hellion's going to be out on the field here in just a few moments. Notice that we're going for a tech lab right away from this barracks. We'll see what he's going to do with that here in just a few moments. And I'm going to have to put myself on busy, apparently. Looks like we've got these guys now working on a supply depot here, but KiLLer starting to work on his creep spread as well. He's gearing up to be in phenomenal shape. Well, we're about to have a couple of those Hellions cruise out across the field. There they are. Scouted right away, and look at this. A couple lings do make their way into the base. 2 of them still alive here, but it looks like the Hellions should be able to clean these guys up. He's certainly trying to figure out how to make it over here safely. Wants to get a scout out. He is going to see double gas here, so he knows what builds are possible now from Srirachi, and he also noted that there's not that many guys mining gas from the second gas. So great scouting here from KiLLer. Very forceful action from him, I'll tell you. That's really nice stuff. And that is going to give him some phenomenal intel. He saw everything that's going on. We got a couple more barracks going down now for Srirachi. Tech-wise for KiLLer, we do have another macro hatch going down. So 3 hatchery now, but that is it. He's just staying on the Zergling tech at this time. Does have his Zergling speed already complete, obviously, at this point in the game, and he's giving a spine crawler out for a little bit of static defense, since there is the threat of those Hellions. And here comes those first 2 Hellions for the time being. See if he's going to be able to get the damage done necessary, but with double 2 of these guys spine crawlers out on the field, he is going to have quite a task ahead of him, as well as the Queens. Notice the Queens moving down the ramp here. They're going to start to chase these guys down, and this creep spread is phenomenal right now from KiLLer. Looks like these Lings are going to be able to get a surround on these guys here in just a moment. Srirachi got to back these guys out carefully. Looks like this one's going to go down. Nice pick there from KiLLer. In the meantime, Srirachi does have his second orbital command now up and running, as well as a bunch of tanks. He's going to start heading down to the low ground. He is a little bit late on taking this expansion, which means this main is taking a lot of mule pressure. So he cannot mine this one for very much longer when it comes down to it. He's continuing to put the mules down in this position. So got to be careful. It is nice to get that expansion taken ASAP so that you can keep that main mining just that much longer. So far, he is going to be keeping the pressure pretty stout on this particular couple mineral patches here. Look at that one. That one's getting really low. Back over here at KiLLer's base, we do have an Evo chamber going down. He's going to start working on some upgrades here. He's also got triple queens, triple hatcheries, and he is going to be working on those inject cycles. Absolutely phenomenal shape at this point. Looking good, as well as now a small echelon of Zerglings headed out across the map. Keeping great map control. You can see how much vision he's got at this point. He is going to be poking through here with an Overlord as well. Wants to see what's going on. We do have a Reaper now out on the field. Srirachi going to try and pick up some map control with this mobile unit. See if he's going to be able to get that done. But good scouting here from KiLLer. He is seeing everything that's going on. He sees the second factory going down, which is a telltale sign that Srirachi is going to go relatively heavy mech here. And he does see that first factory with the tech lab already. Tanks obviously going to be coming out of there. Looks like a couple Marines now going to try and beat this Overlord out of the sky. In the meantime, KiLLer is taking his third base. Great timing here. He's getting this down right at the 10-minute mark. Just perfect timing. Extremely well done. Got 4 gas now at the moment, and he is grabbing out a Spire. So Spire Tech is on the way. Notice he did grab his Baneling nest. We didn't mention that earlier. So Banelings, Zerglings, I guess we could call them Speedlings, as well as now some Mutalisks going to be out on the field. So relatively standard play. I like this opener here from KiLLer in this best of 3 matchup. I think that he's really he's playing it relatively safe here, going for something that's kind of tried and true. And obviously with the caliber of player that we're dealing with here in KiLLer, he is going to be able to micro those Mutalisks extremely well. And we do see his Spire completing right now, while Srirachi is moving out across the map. He is going to take out a couple Banelings here as well. Good scan going down is going to reveal that. Knows he has to be careful. We'll see if we're going to see some Baneling bombs here for KiLLer in some interesting locations. I don't see any quite yet, but we do see a lot of scans going down here for Srirachi. Not much to take care of at this point from him with the scan, other than just the one creep tumor. He is going to siege up here and get ready for some siege mode at the third of KiLLer. See if he's going to be able to take this down. He's got to start leapfrogging these tanks forward. He's got this one sieged up in the back, and now these guys are going to be in range of the hatchery. While we do have some mutas in production, they are about to be out. 7 of them about to pop now out on the field. It looks like KiLLer is going to try and pick up a flank on this army. A nice play here from him. It looks like this hatchery is going to tank a little bit of damage here for just a moment while KiLLer does prepare his forces, but he's going to be moving in for an attack, I would assume, here in just a little while. But look at this. He's going to sack this hatchery. No, he's taking the center expansion. How interesting is that? Mutas poking through here. They don't want to engage these Marines, but they do want to engage the tanks. However, the Marine placement here for Srirachi is pretty solid at this point, and now KiLLer going to skirt that force and go for the kill. Maybe not the kill, but at least some harassment at the main of Srirachi. Looking good, man. He's going to go over here. Looks like he's trying to deny the third. It looks like these guys headed that way. Either that or he's going to go right up the middle. I can't tell, but right up the middle is pretty heavily guarded at this point for Srirachi. So I think a better spot is going to be the third, but he's going to pick these guys off. He does catch these guys as they're evacuating. A great surround going down here. Bailing's going off, and the Zergling's doing a phenomenal amount of damage. Looks like these tanks are now in big trouble. KiLLer should be able to clean this up pretty quickly. Look at that, Bailing bombs now at the ready, and these tanks are absolutely going to die. Quite a loss here for Srirachi. This is really going to be hurting his current pattern. But he is on solid 3-base play. He did grab out an orbital command, or not orbital, really. Rather, a planetary fortress here at his third, so looking good there. Notice that KiLLer is going to take a sneaky 4th base, taking it on Srirachi's side of the map in many regards. So he's going to start mining that, which if we do make it to serious late game, that is going to put KiLLer way, way ahead. So nicely done there from him. He's going to hold on to the minerals on his side of the map as much as possible as he moves forward. Looking solid, but look at this force from KiLLer moving around the map. My goodness, these guys. There's a heck of a lot of lings here, and he's moving through the main now with a couple of his mutas. Looks like pretty decent air defense here from missile turrets, but not quite enough. And here comes the Marines, though. They will be able to chase these guys off, and a couple of those mutas do indeed go down. But the center expansion up and running in a big way now for KiLLer. He is ahead in the supply count, 151 to 103. Let's just check in on his upgrades here, just out of curiosity. He's at +1/+1. No upgrades really in the works right now, except for melee attack level 2. Man, that's looking pretty solid. But on his air units, what does he have there? Just the +1 and no upgrades other than that for now on air. But a lot of bases now out for KiLLer. He is getting some mining done up here at this sneaky 5th base, which is now, I guess, his 6th, since this base is being retaken. And he's falling back, playing very defensively here in game number 1. I think he's trying to figure out how his opponent is going to play. He did note that Srirachi took some serious losses in that first push of his. Got caught off guard, got flanked pretty hardcore, and lost a lot of tanks. But here comes your mutas once more. They are going to poke into the backside of the main. He wants to try and poke at his opponent's tech as well as get a good scout out on what's going on in the main. It's always a good idea. Looks like he's going to go ahead and engage these missile turrets headlong. Taking out the air defense. And now going to be working on some starport action before the Marines do show up. And off they go. Back to safety. Not taking any fire from the Marines. So well done there. In the meantime, Srirachi does need to consider taking another base. His main is about to be mined out. So taking another base here is actually quite a key element to what he's doing. He is putting down a command center. So very helpful, but moving it forward is going to be the key. He's almost 18 minutes in here. And that does mean that moving these things around can be a little bit more difficult than one would expect. He's going to start gearing up for some drops, it appears. He's got 2 medevacs chuck full here, but man, the vision of KiLLer at this point is ridiculous good. I mean, he's got, look how much, let's just check his vision. How's that? Look, he sees the entire map just about, his entire side of the map plus a little extra. And yeah, so any drops coming his way, he is going to notice very quickly. There goes right there. Guaranteed he is noticing that. Very good player here. Watching his mini-map is exactly what we want to see. Notice that he's sending these guys. He's going for the attack here. He is going to see this. Drop is going down. He may as well just sack this base. Notice that he's working on the gas, but he's not going to sack it. He is going to come in and defend this hatchery. Well done. A lot of lings getting in here. It looks like Srirachi not going to pick these Marines up and bail. He is just going to continue there. Only picking up 5 of those Marines before he does evac that position. And looks like KiLLer going to be able to chase him down with these mutas. There goes the attack. He is going to clean this little drop up fairly quickly. Srirachi taking some key losses right now. Very difficult stuff, but he is moving forward. He does have a Thor in this army, which would be pretty decent air defense against these mutas. There's not tons of mutas here, so the Thor will push them back there fairly well as with the Marines. Should be able to keep them at bay. These guys are going to have to start kiting, but look at the fungals going down, stalling these guys in their path, and chain fungal taking them out. Beautifully done. Baiting into the tanks, however, and some of those lings are getting obliterated there fairly quickly, but Srirachi still a little bit behind in the supply count, so KiLLer taking a lead here, I'd say, and he's really doing a great job in this engagement. That Thor getting forward there, trying to take some of the damage from these lings and banelings. Beautiful play there from Srirachi. Thor indeed does go down, unfortunately, but here comes some reinforcements, and that is going to be fairly helpful. He is taking that center map, however, that is going to be noticed very quickly by KiLLer. He's got such great map control at this point. He's holding these towers, sees this base gone down. I mean, he can take this out just about any time that he wants. He's probably waiting, in fact, for some mining to be done there. He's going to wait for a bunch of SCVs to show up and then go ahead and take it down. It is my guess, but you can see that he's now working on his late game play, and it is Broodlords, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of broods here. Good bunch of corruptors as well. There's some more broods now morphing in, as well as a good bunch of mutalisks. And those infestors and lings for support is looking really solid. Sriracha moving forward with a small detachment of marines. They're getting cleaned up there fairly quickly. And KiLLer is about to be maxed out here in his supply count. Looks like a nice engagement, though, going down at this base. Sriracha trying to clean this one up, which is not a bad idea. However, this is kind of a decoy base in a lot of ways. I mean, Sriracha is only mining the gas here. So for late game, gas-heavy units for KiLLer are going to be great, and it is going to put Sriracha slightly behind in the late game. But Sriracha is going to go ahead and take this out, which is a good idea, but hopefully he does not lose this planetary fortress here in the center, and we've got a lot of Broodlords now getting into position to deal with these guys, and looks like it is... Planetary fortress is definitely in danger here. Nobody here to defend quite yet. He does not have an answer to these broods. Down goes your planetary. Missile turret's not going to last much longer here either, and this army might get caught a little bit out of position because here come those broods. Now the Thors do outrange the Broodlords, so they will be able to put down a good cover fire on these broods, but man, the broods, there's so many of them. Even if he loses one here, taking out the Thor is key, and he doesn't even take a loss there on the broods before now this entire army of Sriracha is going to be in serious jeopardy. Beautifully done so far from KiLLer, and this is getting pretty close to a GG scenario. He's got these units here at the back as well. It looks like this drop did finally take out the expansion, but at what cost now for Sriracha? He is going to be stuck on 2 mining bases right now, while KiLLer is about to be maxed out again after that engagement. And he's starting to move forward, and I do expect this to go extremely well for him. In production for Sriracha, we do have some Thors as well as some Vikings. So not a bad play here, but there's so much Mutas on the field. The Mutas will be able to deal with the Vikings pretty well, and the Broodlords should be able to deal with the Thors without much trouble as well. And now he's just moving in. He's starting to take out unit production structures here for Sriracha, which is a big deal. Can't afford to be losing these, unfortunately. And they're going down nonetheless. And there's your GG from Sriracha. Beautifully played from both of these players. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be headed into game number 2, where it will be Sriracha's map pick. Catch you guys then. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. We've got more live tournament action coming at you. It is game 2 now between Sriracha and KiLLer. Nice little matchup here. Sriracha did lose game number 1, however, and that does put KiLLer at match point position. It is only a best of 3. Lucky for Sriracha, it is a double elimination bracket if he does indeed lose here. KiLLer is going to have to be the favorite to win. I'll tell you, he is such a highly ranked player. Great control from this guy. He's making phenomenal decisions tonight. He played that last game extremely safe. And I expect to see KiLLer be a little bit more aggressive here in game number 2. I think he's got his opponent pegged a little bit better now, and now he is up that 1 game. So I half expect to see him go for a little bit more early aggression at this point. We'll see how that's going to play out. But KiLLer is our yellow Zerg up here in the top right-hand corner. Down here in the bottom left, it is Sriracha, hailing from Team Alt. He is going to be our teal Terran. Cross positions on this map, not a bad deal. I like it. In the meantime, we do have KiLLer headed out across the field with his Overlord. This is Bob the Overlord. Nice to meet you, Bob. You are going extremely slow, and it will take you a good long while before you do get some solid intel for KiLLer. So that's alright. But it looks like Sriracha going for a standard wall off here. He's got his barracks going down in great time. Good old standard opener. Back here at KiLLer's base, we do have 15 supply. It appears that he is going to be going for a fast expansion, which I think is a smart move on this map. It is a relatively long rush distance across this map, so you can get away with a 15 hatch just about every time, and it is, you know what, even on small maps, it's still a good option, especially if you have great control and good scouting. You know what to look for in your Terran's opponent's builds. So we'll see how that's going to play out, but he does indeed go for a 15 hatch. Back over here at Sriracha's base, we've got a little bit of harassment going on, but that SCV is going to live. He should be just fine. Wait a second, did that guy pick up a kill? No, he didn't. Okay. And your supply depot's going down here, but the wall off working pretty solid for Sriracha. Looks to be in great shape. Units tab going to show 16, now 17 drones to 15, and he just spent another one on his spawning pool. So spawning pool going down at 17 there for KiLLer. We were mentioning that earlier tonight. We were talking to Honey Bear, actually out in the pre-show, and he was mentioning that the current metagame for Zerg is to wait till 17 before you grab that spawning pool, and that's exactly what we see here from KiLLer. So he's playing very standard at this point with the current metagame here, taking good old Honey Bear's advice, which is a smart idea. What can I tell you? But KiLLer is about to have that hatchery complete. Going to be on 2-base play. He is maintaining a little bit of good map control at this point. And notice the fast expand coming down from Srirachi as well. He's got that command center going down pretty decent time, almost a quarter of the way done there. And he is just going to play defensively for the time being. No bunker rushing or anything like that quite yet. Does have one SCV over here, but the Marines are not headed out across the map, which is a telltale sign that he's not going for any bunkers. Hatchery is complete though, and we are starting to get some saturation going here for KiLLer. It looks like Srirachi are going to start putting down a couple more barracks. He might go for a large infantry play. Now grabbing both of his gas here, a little bit late on the gas maybe, but he is taking both of them at the same time, so we should see him start to tech up here in just a few. But he's trying to work on that economy. Let's see how he's doing. 18 SCVs, 1 mule. Going to have double the mules here in just a few as he gets his second orbital command complete. But KiLLer is really on top of his drone count as well. 24 drones, doing a phenomenal job there. There goes another mule. I'll tell you, man, the new rules on mules, if you will, on the gold expansions is kind of interesting. They, a mule returns 30 minerals from a standard mineral patch here, and they changed it in this latest patch so that they can only take 30 from the gold as well. So that way, it's not considered OP, quote unquote, right? I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I'll tell you, man, a lot of Terran players loved using mules on their gold expansions. That's going to be quite a loss for them. Good scouting here from KiLLer. He does see some movement of Marines headed out across the field. Looks like he is going to take this opportunity to go in for some scouting. See what he can find there. There is nobody here to defend it quite yet, interestingly enough. Now we do have combat shield on the way right now. Looks like your Zerglings are going to cruise up the ramp. And do we have any Marines? Looks like there's about to be one out on the field, but he is headed down to the bunker. Going to make his way into the bunker. In the meantime, these Marines are hiding out in the little gap here. It looks like they didn't quite make it in before KiLLer. Felt like KiLLer was way too prepared for that. Wow, looks like that Marine died somehow. And we did end up having to salvage the bunker. Srirachi now pushing himself back on one base. How very interesting. And it looks like we may even see a push come out of KiLLer. I don't know. I'm interested to see if that's what he's going to do. He's currently droning up. I would expect to see him take a third here, probably earlier than normal because of this. He's got to feel a little bit ahead here. It was too easy to deny that third. He is poking around here with another Ling, but it does get taken out. It looks like the bunker is going to go down here once more, but Srirachi's got to get back to mining the second base. Same thing that happened in that last game. His main enduring a lot of mining pressure very early in this matchup, and he's going to have to be careful. Mining it out too quickly is definitely a problem if you're going to be slow on taking more expansions, and that's basically the way he's playing. He's playing very defensively, kind of not turtle. I want to say turtle, but he's taking it easy. He's taking it slow and trying to make very safe plays, which is a smart thing to do in a tournament setting. But it does mean that main is going to cost a lot very, very quickly. And we'll see how he's going to play this out. But got his bunker back up and running. He does have his next base back up and running, and we'll see how he's going to play it from here. But looks like KiLLer is not going to be inactive with his Lings. He's going to take out these destructible rocks. Phenomenal play here. I think that's always what you want to do as a Zerg on this map. Mobility is key on this particular map for a Zerg player, because the center of the map actually does choke down a little bit, and there's some Terran abuses on this particular map, like these holding the Zelnaga towers with tanks and stuff like that. For a Terran player is extremely effective, and then they can even put tanks up on the high ground here, which is extremely difficult to deal with on occasion for a very Zergling heavy army and things like that, but even a Roach army. But so far so good. KiLLer is now working on his new tech patterns. He's got his Baneling Nest about to be complete, as well as an infestation pit just now going down. Tossing down his third base here right around the 10-minute mark, a little bit before, so a little bit earlier, so not bad there. But gearing up for a pretty large Zergling Baneling army, and I'm assuming we're going to see some great infestor play come behind that as well. Now moving forward here, Srirachi is still on the 2 base, and it is approaching the 11-minute mark. A good old-fashioned time where you might want to have taken an expansion. But he's going to go for a little bit of a drop. Nice thing for him is that KiLLer doesn't necessarily have tons of scouting over here, but he's starting to move these overlords out, which is going to mean these guys might get scouted there fairly quickly. But a lot of links now gathering in the center of the map. I expect to see some banelings out of him here in just a few. Siege Tech is currently on the way for Srirachi, and he's going to start pumping out some tanks. Looking really good. But the command center going down for Srirachi. It is his third. It's a little bit late there. I would like to have seen it sooner, but it is what it is. He's got to be careful. Knows that his opponent could potentially take it down very, very quickly. Get aggressive at just about any point, but sometimes it's worth it to give it the old try. Lings now coming in. They are going to get a nice surround on these Marines, and Srirachi going to be in big trouble here, losing all of those Marines. That is absolutely brutal. KiLLer absolutely willing to throw away a couple Zerglings to get that done. He is securing his 4th base now. His economy is rocking and rolling. Checking that economics tab, the units tab, he is at 63 drones to 40 SCVs. So Srirachi depending on his mules to keep his economy up where it needs to be. Scary position, I'd say, for him as he moves forward here. He's got to get this 3rd down. He needs to get some more mining done outside of his main and try and transfer potentially, I don't know, at least half of these guys out of here. He's got to try and keep mining this main as long as possible. But his 3rd is about to be complete. Hope to see it move out here momentarily. Maybe even go for a planetary fortress. It might be a good idea. Look at the creep spread. I love this creep spread. It looks like a fan. Kind of fanning out there, but he is spreading that creep. Going to take control of this map in a very big way. And what are we doing here? Command center did lift off for just a moment, but it is landing now. We've got a couple tanks now out for Srirachi. Looking pretty solid. A lot of infestors now, though, out on the field. Plenty of lings to deal with the few amount of tanks that are on the field. I mean, there's only 2 here. So these tanks are going to get sieged up. They are going to try and defend this position. It is 14 minutes in, though, for this command center to be moving out. And that is way too late, in my personal opinion, at this point. But he's got a decent defense here. He's just going to have to be careful. I mean, Chain Fungals here is going to be absolutely devastating to this army. And the lings should be able to deal with these tanks, even considering they are sieged up in pretty nice position. Tanks getting off a free shot on the infestors. Nice deal there. And Fungal's going down here. Looks like that tank is not going to last. A good Fungal going down here as well on these Marines, and Srirachi's army in a lot of trouble here. Getting cleaned up pretty quickly by KiLLer's force. And look at the supply differential, 121 to 70. It's really actually quite large here. Srirachi is a little bit behind. He did, however, hold on to these 2 siege tanks. That is absolutely helpful for him at this point. Notice we do have a planetary fortress going down at his 3rd, but no 4th base in the works quite yet. It's something that he's going to need to consider. His main is going to be mined out here fairly quickly, but he did relieve a lot of the pressure there, but it may have been too late. Too late indeed. KiLLer now taking his 5th base in his pocket expansion. Oh man, he's in great shape. 75 drones right now. He is going to be working on a lot of lings. Basically, is the only thing that's building his army up here at this point, as well as the infestors. So just lings and infestors for the time being. We'll see if he is going to grab any banelings out, but so far he's just sticking with these speed lings. And upgrade-wise, he does have +1/+1. He's currently working on +2. His melee attack is actually about to be finished. So +2/+1 is almost done. And we're going to have a lot of infestors as well now moving forward. And he's going to go ahead and burrow here. Now, there is decent missile turrets for detection, but he is just coming in to try and snipe these tanks. And indeed he does. Taking out 2 tanks. Ouch. Srirachi trying to abuse this high ground, and KiLLer taking advantage of it. taking advantage. What can I say? But this planetary fortress in nice position still, even with these couple tanks here, kind of spread out around it just a little bit. Does have a lot of detection here, however. And I'm interested to see if he's going to go for the attack. He's about to be maxed out. He's got a lot of ultras in production, and he's going to start moving in for the kill, I assume. Srirachi, I'm learning why this is a TvT build. And KiLLer gives the hee-hee at him. Nice attitude here from both of these players. Tons of fun as KiLLer is beefing up his entire army. Notice he's about to have +3/+3 for these ultras. And he's got a good bunch of infestors still out on the field. Only 8 ultras, though. I mean, he might... Oh, I take that back. Did he get 9? Yeah, he's got 9 now. There's 10. 10 ultras now out on the field here. And he is about to be maxed out. Let's see what he's putting in production. Nothing. He's just waiting for his upgrades to complete here, I assume. He does have that +3 and the +3 carapace going down. It's going to make these guys extremely beefy. He did get chitinous plating out already for his ultras. Scan going down here for Srirachi does reveal his imminent doom. I don't believe he's going to be able to take care of this push. A lot of units here are going to be pushing through. The tanks are disappearing there very, very quickly. Good fungos going down, forcing the engage on a lot of these infantry units. And now you've got way too many ultras moving in for the kill here. One ultra did indeed go down, actually. Relatively surprising there. That KiLLer didn't allow one of those guys to die. But a lot of repairs going down on the planetary. However, it is not enough. And there's your GG from Srirachi. KiLLer taking it down, doing a phenomenal job. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be headed to another match here in just a few moments.